Okay, let's take a look at how to build a crashed airplane scene. Now this isn't the scene here, these are just the parts and some special effects that I brought in to start the scene off. But we're going to actually build and carve into this field so that the plane comes from over here on the left, clips the building, some trees, and drags itself down into the dirt and carves itself into this field over here, kills a cow and maybe a chicken, and then kind of explodes into a little bit of a fire. So that's what we're going to do here, which means we have to get into height mode. We're in F2 height mode, and well, first go to polygon mode and show the wireframe, and we of course we're going to enhance the amount of polys from 0 to 5, so we get a lot of detail to work with in the crash scene. And that crash scene will be all around here, wherever you think you're going to need some more detail in your polygons. And since it's not that great of a deal, we'll just put enough polygons. We can clean it up later, subtract some polys, rebuild them if we have to. I don't know if you know, but you can delete polys. If you hit the right mouse button, you actually delete polys, and then the left mouse button brings them back in. And so, and you can also, and why I mention that is because sometimes when you blacken the earth with black paint, if you notice, you can't bring it back. Once you paint the terrain dark color or any color, and it may look bad because you went too far, and it looks too green or orange or something, and you can't get that back, and it ruined you. Well, you can delete all those polys that were painted too much with the colors panel here. You can delete those polys and then rebuild the polys, and they should be back to a normal texture, and you can try to repaint again. Just thought I'd mention that. Now, let's go to heights, and we need a very slow brush. We'll start with, we want to have a small brush, and what we're going to do is we figure, this plane's only going to dig into this field, plow into the field as it crashes, maybe a meter at the farthest end. It's just going to start scraping the earth at a foot or two, and then into a deeper kind of. So let's start with a slow brush, soft, but no, we'll go sharp on the brush but slow on its painting rate. And let's see what we got here. Well, we can start with that. So if we turn on the height map, see if we can see how we're going to the actual crash plane is going to end up over here, the main part of it. So we're just kind of building up some depressions here. And now I'm going to go with a specific height map level, so fixed height, fixed relative now of say -4, and a small brush. So now, yeah, we're getting the effect of the main fuselage, if you can see that. The main fuselage is crashed into here, this area here. So just a rough kind of idea of it coming in here. We may lift this up a little bit. We're going to smooth that out too. And then the smallest brush for tips of the wings, that's going to kind of drag in. So just to carve a little bit into the ground where it actually hits. And we'll have some rocks and stuff too. So now we got a little bit of action there, actually into the ground. So we'll try that, and we're going to place the plane first. So let's get out of that mode. Go back into entity mode. Actually, while we're here, we might as well darken the earth too. So just as I was saying, let's darken this with a soft, slow, big brush. That's where the explosion and the fire was around the plane. We'll make the brush smaller, get some more detail, so it's not so circular, about where the plane tips are. So this is going to be where the fire actually burnt some of the grass and soil area. And then we'll make it even a little darker towards the middle. So now we got a little more interest. Going into the explosion area there. A little bit darker and darker into the rut. That should help with the overall look once we place the plane down there. So now back into entities. Let's grab the plane wreck, which is, you can find it. So it's under vehicle airborne destroyed JU-52, just in case you want to find it and do a similar wreck. Now, since it came in this direction, skidded across the field into its resting place about there, we're going to rotate it a little bit, but when it actually came to a stop, it kind of tilted up, so it kind of dragged in, and then when it hit the earth hard there, kind of tilted up and dragged, and then rested down a little crooked, just like about there. So that's looking pretty good from all angles of the camera. That might want to look at that. So yeah, I'm happy with how that's looking from there. All right, so let's bring in some of the debris that we have here. That cow can move over here for now. The tree, move that over there. So we see if we can separate the special effects from the debris here. And we may want some more special effects too. But let's just bring in some debris. We can start with that. We may copy and paste this and darken it too, because it was burnt. But we just want what looks to be like some junk that the plane kind of exploded. So we'll copy this, paste it, we'll spin it around. So this could be parts of the aircraft that, and we'll color that a little bit darker. There, and color. We'll darken that. And darken that too. It's all gonna have been like burnt and charred. So that'll be the smoke. We'll just put this aside here. We'll keep the special effects separate for now. Sometimes they get lost in the debris. Separate things a little bit. Okay, there. So we'll bring in this rubble field. We'll color that darker. That should work. A little darker. That's safe. Hit OK. that. Copy, paste, another one. Spin it around. Copy, paste. So now it looks like damaged rubble. Some rocks were dug up. This is the same one, so color that a little bit different, maybe kind of like that. Copy, paste, and you can, you can't resize stamps, so but we'll paste another one back here, rotate it, just like it's caused a lot of, dug up some earth and rocks. That's the plane. And we'll paste one over there. And something like that. Copy that, paste. Paste, rotate it. Now that's just the first part, and we may work with that a little bit more. Then we have these nice scratch marks that we can even darken up more. Rotate. We'll darken the color of these. Oops, did the same thing. Forgot to apply. Hit apply, and then we'll copy these, paste some more. Paste some more. And we'll take just one. We'll take ones that weren't darkened. We'll spin that around so these are lighter, not so deep. We'll copy those, paste that, paste that, and as we can see, it bobbed and weaved into the field and came to that. That's looking pretty good, how it hit the field and scraped across the field. And with the right lighting, it'll look even better. So a few more chunks of debris. Sometimes I like bringing in that black puddle as the, we're going to darken all of this, because sometimes the oil pan breaks and there's an oil slick usually in a crash site of some sort. So we bring that in, and we copy that, and we paste maybe a little bit more debris here and there. And it may have crashed through. See, this is the thing, it may have hit the fence here and dragged parts of that fence all the way over here. So we copy that and we paste and spin around parts of the fence that had dragged in with it. And this house can be half busted up, the top of it busted the fence. So what we'll do here now is we'll take some of this, these trees and that, and we'll, we want to spread some of this stuff that got busted up over here. The trees specifically we're looking for. And it was busted over. So we'll spend some time the tree that's broken over and spun. To the side. over and we'll lift it up a little bit just into the dirt there. The grass beside it is wonky now, we'll fix that. It's not the best grass anyway, so we'll just and we'll copy that, we'll paste that, we'll spin it, we'll resize it. So it looks like. And we can just drag in a little bit of the rest of these parts too. Lower that into position like that. That's too big, so we'll size that down. Control delete or control back. Alright, it's looking pretty good. The house, we may have to, if we can't break it up, we may just move it out of the scene here. And we may try to find a cart that's busted up. But what we can do is we can get rid of that and that. We can grab the fence over here. We can spin it and make it look like it's been busted, broken. Same with this one. And you could spend more time and make it look better, obviously. Maybe even clipped some of these pieces. Use your imagination a little bit. Depends how much time you want to spend on this whole scene. And may have clipped this tree too. We could just move it, or we can have it topple down, lift it up a little bit. That's how the plane came in and caused a little bit of damage and then really hit ruts into that field. And yeah, I'll just chuck that over there. That. Now, could bring some of these rocks in here just for a little bit of extra. Now, of course, this is just, we just created the scene itself, but if you wanted to actually make the scene look better, you would bring in stamps that make the soil look better, that have nothing to do with just the accident. You know, you would spend time making better field, the field looking really good in the first place. The trees, the field, everything would look really good for the initial shot. But for this purpose, we're just doing the actual accident. We're not making the town look better. And then we can grab a fire, and we got to separate it from that little piece there. There. So we got the fire and the smoke. That should be set on storable. If you click on storable, that'll be saved in your scene. You got to turn this check mark on down here. But let's copy that and paste one in here, and it's also going to add some lighting to your scene. And I'll take this other one and we'll move it over there, and the smoke can go just on the side there. You never want to have exactly, in fact, I'm not even sure I want this second fire because it looks a little bit too repeating, but if we lower it into the junk, some of it, the fire should look a little more realistic. There it's more under. The second fire is more under and just poking out a little bit. The first one's more on top, so that looks... But this smoke here, it's too high up, if that's what the smoke... Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to find it, but over time you figure out how to get a hold of them, how to grab it. So we'll put that just there. So now we got some fire, some smoke. We can take these cows. I don't know if you can kill them. They still animate, but put a dead cow in there. It was hit by the plane. And killed that way. Now it's animating. It may animate out of the scene, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. So one dead cow. And you could put some dead troops too that piled out, came out of here. Maybe a couple of them keeled over and died. So let's do that. Let's just grab a few soldiers. Go to entities up here. Let's see. MP. So it's a German side, German plane. Let's... A couple of elite soldiers. And you could get the dead soldiers too. You could have some dead soldiers. Like I say, they dragged them out. Maybe they dragged them to the field and they tried to give them medical attention. And they probably wouldn't have their weapons out, but they might. So you might want to store the weapons. So if we go to this side, and if we go to F6 and turn on the scene lighting, and of course you'd want some sound to go with that, so you know, you could turn on some sound effects. But each of my scenes here have different effects. We'll go through a couple here. And that's a little nicer lighting for the fire. So there we go. And let's get rid of this. And if we go into cinema screen, we can take some screenshots, and then we can go back, change the lighting. Daytime scene, bright sunlight. Overall, looks, you know, for the amount of time that we put into it, we have a nice little scene here which can be part of your map. So I hope you enjoyed this little video on how to create this aircraft crash scene. Mayday, mayday, she went down. And I like to try all kinds of, I have all kinds of lighting scenes, different effects. After I do a scene, I'll check it in all kinds of lighting directions and the camera directions and lighting types. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thumbs up. Subscribe if you like what I do, and we'll catch you in the next video.